What's going on, people? How are you doing? I know I'm late. Almost didn't make it. A lot of things going on. But I'm here because I missed you guys and figured we'd just have a casual chat today. I don't have any big topics, just maybe some reflections, some general conversation. If you guys have questions, ask them. We'll have a conversation about whatever you guys want to talk about. I have a couple things I wanted to say. And yeah, welcome to Sundays Live. Let me know if you can hear me well. Let me know how your day is going. A lot of people coming to Kenya around this period of time, so that'll be interesting. I will be back next month. I don't know what my schedule is going to be. There's so many things for me to do and tackle when I get there. It's always hard because it takes me a couple days with the jet lag to get ready to, get to work, do everything I need to do, but we'll get it done. For those of you guys for the first time watching who have never seen me before, my name's Ryan Fagan. I split my time between the US and Kenya, although more and more spending my time in Kenya. My whole career has been in real estate. I'm a real estate broker here in the United States with Arley Real Estate, a small real estate brokerage here in South Jersey. I've been in the mortgage industry, property preservation, um, real estate analysis, and a whole bunch of fields throughout my time in real estate. I also have flipped homes. I have rental properties, renovated properties to make them into rental properties. Currently have two properties in Kenya. One's a rental, one I just use for my own purposes. I don't like renting out my own stuff. I guess we should talk about general idea about real estate. I also sold a property last week, so we can talk about that. I'll talk about why, what's going on. Why did I sell a property? I've sold three properties in the last 18 months, I believe. I've bought some in Kenya. And yeah, we can talk about all these things. Let me know what's going on. Atticus, how are you? Hope you're having a good what's going on with the soundboard? Hoping you have a good Sunday. Bye, Lauren. Hi, how you doing? I have a question, and you guys have to answer it because I need answers, okay? Although I probably should ask it when we have more people here. So I don't know. Ask your questions. I'll ask my question though a little bit. Elijah Uplift. Hi, Ryan. My ask is around December. I learned most Kenyans move back to their hometown during the holiday. I'm interested in purchasing land around the Nanyuki and Konza side. Do you have any ideas? I have thoughts. These are outside of my zone. I haven't been to Konza. I've been to Nanyuki. Feel like it's very beautiful, but a little overpriced for being outside the city. But everyone loves Nanyuki. But yeah, it's not my wheelhouse as far as like the business side, so I can only give you my perspective on my personal limited experience on Nanyuki. I haven't been on Konza side. But I don't know if there's something specific you want to talk about. But yeah, I think most Kenyans go back to the shags slash village on in December around Christmas. What area of Kenya do you rent in? Lavington is where the property is. We love Nairobi. Yes, we do. I'm ready. I've been ready to get back. Just trying to handle my responsibilities here in the US. Oh, that's why, because I moved something. Yeah, just trying to handle my responsibilities here. I actually tinted the windows of my house this morning because getting crazy electric bill for the air conditioning, and I leave my curtains open. And I had the HVAC guy come, and he was like, "Yo, if you're gonna have your curtains open, you should tint the windows." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I did that this morning. I've been trying to make my home have less maintenance and less overhead because, and we can talk about this a little bit more as we're going. Uh, Trying to live in two different places can be quite expensive, especially overseas, obviously, because maintaining two households and two footprints, and then you talk about immigration and some of the legal side and all that, it could be expensive, you know. And I have this. I'm maintaining my house here. My mom stays there when I'm not there, and she'll watch my dogs and stuff. Which I'm looking to ship my dogs probably next visit. So I want to make sure that the house is well maintained and not as expensive to maintain. So energy efficiency has become a thing. So I'm trying to do stuff with insulation, get some solar panels or something. I'm thinking about my mom has a condo in my town, but it has stairs, and her health has been up and down this last year. So that's another thing that makes the travel a little difficult because I feel a little guilty when I'm away. Um, I want to build an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit. Our state is coming out with like a new law that makes it a little bit easier on the legal side to be able to build it. So I'm thinking about trying to build like a small house in my backyard. Uh, this way I'll feel a little bit better. Um, when I'm gone, I can kind of, have a lot of cameras and security in my property. So just to, just, I don't know, have more awareness of what's going on and if she needs something. So we could talk about all these plans because these are real things that you deal with when you're thinking about moving in a real way that I don't think people talk about. I think that a lot of the content, and I'm not knocking it, because it's natural to have like this euphoric attitude towards going to Kenya or traveling anywhere really, and then moving. And then there's a lot of realities that need to be addressed that can be challenging. Regarding the purchase you had made over a year ago, what's your ROI? There is a video in members only that breaks down all the numbers, everything that happened, all the issues, and the return on investment, and then my projected return on investment for the next year. So you can check that out in there. It's a pretty comprehensive analysis. I'm coming out. I also have ones because I do some stuff with, I'll call them like Kenyan mutual funds and investing in Kenya and in the equities market, which we need to talk about a little bit because there's a big conversation I've been having with generally real estate versus other forms of investing, whether that's in Kenya or the US, that we need to talk about because my whole life has been real estate. But I'll tell you, in the US, um, I don't see it really for people. Like the things that I was able to do when I was really heavy investing and flipping and doing all that stuff, it's not like people send me deals, and my best friend always wants to keep doing some flips and stuff. I have turned everything down, so I feel bad about it. Hey, Willis Wilson, member, what's going on, man? We've been doing some League of Legends. If you guys know what that is, that's cool. um, how much do I spend a month? It's a little hard because now we have like business spending. But this is the advantage of owning the property is you don't have rent, and then the water and electric and the service charge. The service charge is what, 4,000, 8,000. What the heck is my service charge? Oh, it's 8,000, which is $60 a month. I have no idea what the monthly electric is because I put so many tokens that it like, I don't know. I never looked at it again for a long time. Just because it's a pain to send the money for the token, so I just do a whole bunch. I don't know, maybe it's $10, $20. And then water, hot and cold water, maybe 1,200 shillings, $10 a month, maybe. Um, Food, I pretty much order out all the time, so I'd probably spend maybe $15 a day on food. What's $15 a day, guys? Times 30, 450, but that's eating out. So I'd probably spend a little bit more than that if I go somewhere nice, or if I'm with somebody and I'm paying. So you got that. Fuel, the gas prices went up a lot, so that's probably a bit more. The gas prices are very similar to the US though when you do the liter to gallon and USD to Kenyan shilling conversion. Actually, Kenya, the diesel was a little bit cheaper until the Iran stuff happened, so I think it's a little bit more now. Um, so whatever you drive, for a Ford Ranger. What else do I spend money on, man? I don't like club or anything really, but I guess if you go to the club, you're gonna spend $200 if you're, moderately going big. So dang, what's that? 450 in food, another 60 and 70 in housing expense. So it's, let's say 550. Fuel, let's say another $50. That's 600 a month. Groceries? No, I don't really do too much groceries. So the rest of the spending is just whatever I want to do. I don't know, just buying stuff, protein powder, and I don't know. I haven't been going out, so I don't know. Would your mom ever want to live in Kenya? I have no idea. She doesn't even have a passport. But one of my goals is to get her to come out in the next year or so. We'll see how that goes. If she's interested, I guess she is. Um, that's why I want to get a bigger place. I want to get it like, that's why I'm buying Belgravia. I'm going to have the mini studio, and I'm going to have 3 bedrooms instead of 2. Plus the amenities there, so I'm kind of excited about that. In case more people want to come, maybe because maybe my mom don't have like friends or anything, but I don't know. I feel like it'd be more fun if there was more people than just me. Ryan, I'd like to talk to you offline about my apartment. Please message me. You message me. There's a bunch of different ways to reach out. Let me know. Elia, what's going on, man? Member. Hi, everyone. We always look forward to these weeks. Oh, so since more people are here, I wanted to ask you guys, why the heck do you watch this? Not just the live, but the channel. I've been thinking about a lot of systems. I've been working on a lot of systems. Almasi, I've been working on our data collection, our policies, our systems, on how we operate, the website a lot. And then I'm thinking about YouTube. This is very niche, right? Like, we're talking about taxes and the zoning policy. And I'm like always interested in what the audience thinks and like, why do you guys watch it? Because then I'm like, what kind of content should I do? There's plenty of other stuff about Kenya, and I've resisted uh, diving into a lot of social topics and all the stuff everybody else is talking about. I do sometimes give some commentary. I do have a video coming out about. I actually think if you really want to like live in Kenya and not be like and have Kenyan friends and be more integrated, you actually need to know Swahili. You actually do. I think like to really understand people, like just because people know English doesn't mean that's their best way that they express themselves, and therefore there's always going to be a bit of a barrier between your communication. And then there's people that get, like, I've had people say, I'm tired of speaking English. It's, it can become mentally um a little, and the accent can be hard. Like it takes a little bit of more energy from someone to communicate sometimes. And I think if you're going to be in Kenya, you should know Swahili. So I'll talk more about that in a video that's coming out. You're genuinely trying to help and inform instead of thank you. I appreciate it. It's kind of weird because we do have the business now and I would like to make some money. But how can we do that with integrity? And I do, the main objective is to make it more straightforward for people that are buying. Well, that made me think about, so I am not necessarily an advocate for like everyone should buy property in Kenya. That is not where I'm coming from. My goal, and I say this all the time, so you guys probably know, my goal is if you so choose that you want to do that, that we provide a service that helps you. And that's what this content's about. I don't want bad things to happen to people, and I want people to be able to make really good decisions. And that's kind of where I'm coming from, whether it's the business or it's just the channel. That's the thesis here. But when I had the YouTube channel, like sometimes I want to talk about some of this fun stuff, but then I'm like, it can really devolve. And then these are complicated topics sometimes that require a lot of explanation in YouTube and shorts and clips. And all you need is somebody to clip something you're saying in a bad way. And oh man, Willis Wilson with the two silver stars. Thank you. Thank you very much. 10 Joules. Oh my goodness. He's balling. Thank you. Now, I really do appreciate the support. It's always good to be like recognized or supported. And, when people do super chats and stuff, it feels good. I don't always feel like, guys, I battle with this idea of just disappearing, like, so I sold one of my rental properties. I had a tenant in the US. Actually, it's very close to where we're at now. I bought that property in 2020. I used a rehab loan that I bought it with. So I bought it for 130,000 US dollars. And then within the loan that they gave me another 30,000 to fix the property up. So I was in the house for 160. And I renovated. It wasn't really in that bad of shape. Renovated the house. Probably took me 2 months to renovate. Then I started renting the house. It ended up renting. The mortgage was maybe $1,200 with property taxes, PI, TI, everything, principal, interest, taxes, insurance. I think maybe the mortgage was about $1,200 in the beginning because, taxes and insurance keep going up. So your payment goes up. Rented around, started at like 1,800. But by 2026, it was renting at 2,400 because inflation's crazy. So the mortgage ended up being I was basically between the mortgage and the rent was about $1,000. But what happens is that there's a lot of people promote real estate in a way that doesn't factor in some of the costs that are a little bit harder to see. And now that I've been in real estate since 16 years investing, I realize a couple things. One is deferred maintenance. So every year your roof gets a year older, your air conditioning system gets a year older, your windows, basically the kitchen, everything gets a year older. And eventually all that stuff's going to have to be updated and replaced, and it's not cheap. And the price of that keeps going up. So if you only look at your mortgage payment and what the rent is, there's a lot of other costs in there. What if you have a bad tenant? If you live, and I'm not trying to be political, but if you live in a blue state, tenants can be in that house tearing your stuff up for 3 months, and you're still having to make the mortgage payments, and then you're going to have to fix the property up. You could lose tens of thousands of dollars with one bad tenant. And if you're only making on paper $12,000 a year between the mortgage payment and the income, it could take you 2-3 years to get back profitable on that property. Even though you tell people, oh, I have $1,000 spread, or I'm making $1,000 on my property. And if you play that out, and this is the funny thing, is that if you play that out over a long period of time, and this is why after 16 years, I've come to these conclusions, plus affordability is much worse than interest rates, you aren't making as much money as you think. Also, I do full service property management here in South Jersey. And I know what these property owners, I know what their mortgage payment is, and I know how much they're making, and I know what their expenses are. And many of them are not making money. I'm like, you should sell this property. I feel bad because I'm the one sending on the bill. I've had to put fences up, repair air conditioning. We had one where the whole sewer line had to be replaced. That was $8,000. They renovated the place, then they had to do something like. And then I'm pocket watching, like, I don't think they're making money. It feels like you're making money, but you're actually not. And this applies to the US and Kenya. I think the big distinction is that if you're buying like off-plan property, you don't have a mortgage, so it doesn't eat your cash flow. And for anybody who's been to business school or anything, all debt does is increase the velocity of something. So if you add debt to a good investment, the return on investment will be much higher. If you add debt onto a bad investment, it becomes much worse. And that's just the law of mathematics on how that works. And I could show you guys a chart or something, but trust me, that's basically what happens. And you get a little bit older. And again, when I say I want to disappear, like I could just disappear off the face of the earth and just have everything paid for and just be retired, which is why I went to Kenya in the first place. I just wanted to find a peaceful place to just enjoy my time. And then all of a sudden I gave myself all this work to do because I don't know. That's what I do. Crazy. Sometimes I'm like, why did I do all that? Especially last time I was in Kenya, I worked so much. Let me read some comments. I only found you recently, but watch you because I'm interested in investing in Kenya and even moving there in the near future, and your content is helpful and transparent. Thank you. Thank you. Where's my soundboard stuff? It's a little messed up. Oh, it's not working now. Great. All right. We enjoy your method and content. Thank you. How much do you make on YouTube? I make between $400 and $800 a month on YouTube. When I'm not in Kenya, it's around 400. I get 800 when I'm putting out all the videos. I can't wait to get back, not to make money from the YouTube, but there's a lot of projects I want to cover, and I think we're getting more sophisticated on how we're covering them. So please don't disappear. We appreciate you. I'm telling you, the encouragement is why I'm like, okay, like, cause I do, it feels good to be recognized, and I think I'm helping. So that's what like keeps me engaged. And I mean, honestly, Almasi can make a lot of money. I'm not even like, it can make a lot of money. And also the employees and the people that we're bringing in, because we're going to be hiring some more people, I think it could be really life-changing because we have commission / profit sharing going on with everybody. And so like the more money the company makes, and these are young people, actually, they're all ladies, but not It's not intentional. Like we're not only hiring ladies. Um, I don't even think they realize the potential of income that they can get because of their comp plan. So I want nothing more for to see that. I like writing a big check to them, especially um, on because we do like quarterly commission, and so I can't wait for them to get a really big quarterly commission check because we would do a lot of site visits and they're like, dang, I wish I could buy this place. And that's my goal, is for our employees to all be able to afford these type of properties that they're showing. I took the family to Kenya for a month and 2 weeks in Germany. Really love Kenya. Can't say the same for Germany. Been thinking about Africa ever since. I'm in Jersey right now. I do miss Kenya a lot. I tried. Okay, so one thing that I try to do, guys, I don't like people crapping on where they're from. Especially, I mean, if you're I don't, in Germany less so. Although I lived in Germany for a little bit, um, I don't like the Americans that act like America's a horrible place. Like my ability to do all this stuff is because of America. Now, for me personally, where I am in life, where I'm getting more comfortable, I'm looking less at career and money things. I'm looking at quality of life, the whole relationship thing, all that kind of stuff, family, kids, and all that is more of a priority. And I feel like Kenya is more for me at this moment in life. But I'm not someone that's like, Kenya's way better than the United States. The USA is the devil. I strongly disagree with those type of things. There's things in the US that I don't like. There's a lot of changes going on that's really, I don't agree with. But also, and a lot of these travelers that come to Kenya, and they're like, one thing I notice is like they'll be like, you don't have to worry about Trump, and you don't got to worry about the politics, and I'm like, that's just because you're ignorant of what's going on in Kenya. If you followed Kenyan politics, you'd be stressed out too. That's what happens when you follow politics in 2026 is you get stressed out. Someone from Canada's calling me. Yeah, you like there's just things that you don't know or don't understand yet. And so you just make up things in your mind about it because Kenyan politics is kind of crazy. So you just aren't aware and you're not engaging with it. Abdi, what's going on? How are you? Retirement can be boring. Yeah, so I'll always be doing some kind of work, but I want the work. I like doing work, but there's certain aspects of work that I don't like to do. And so as long as I can focus on the good parts, like I don't want to do like I don't like paperwork. So can I do work and then have the other people do the paperwork? Then I like it, you know? That's pretty good. That adds up. It does add up. It's like a car payment or something, although I want to do that. I was semi-retired for a bit and went back full. Yeah, like I'm very purpose driven. I'm not money driven, but I like to see things get done. I like to accomplish things. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from. And that's why, honestly, I don't know how much I talked about this if you watched some of the other content, which I don't talk about that much because of the sad state of real estate. Post 2020, when I first came to Kenya and then with Almasi and everything, I really had a new spark of purpose and motivation that I can attribute a lot of for coming to Kenya. And I feel like there's a difference that I can make. And it really woke me up and gave me a sense of purpose because I wasn't like, I don't have to work. So I need good motivation to like do stuff. YouTube money to pay for plane ticket is a win. Well, man, them plane tickets getting expensive. But also, guys, okay, here's a hack. Um, I mean, if you have your own business, so for example, I have a property management business, right? when we do repairs, we put all that stuff on our company credit card, and our company credit card earns points, and we're spending a couple $100,000, a year on all this stuff. And so we're getting hundreds of thousands of credit card points. So I can fly for free, you know? So that's a benefit there. I don't be careful with credit cards, guys. Maybe we'll talk about this as well. The debt is dangerous. What do you think of Executive Suites Riverside? Would you recommend their one bedroom units for investment? Man, I think let me start with the answer because then it gets complicated. I'll say yes. I may be overreacting. I think Riverside has a traffic problem that's going to get much worse that I will find very inconvenient. Will people renting the place really be that concerned about it or know about it when they're renting or doing Airbnb or whatever you choose to do? Probably not. Riverside has a really high and good reputation as an area, but I think it's living on the past because I'm not that impressed with Riverside. Executive Suites, the layout and everything is pretty cool. They were greedy by doing 3 blocks and they're having no courtyard, but I think that still works there. The pricing is really good, and this is something with Wonder Properties. So Executive Suites is done by the same people doing the Diplomat, which their company is Wonder Properties. The Diplomat looks real good, and it was very well priced. And so they really nailed it. So I would expect Executive Suites to look really good. So it's like a safe buy that we can recommend. But goodness gracious, Wonder Properties to deal with on the sales side sometimes and how they do things is a bit frustrating. I don't know how much I want to get into it, but like there's a like okay, like for example, like we've had an offer letter expire and then they give the unit away and then they'll tell you that the deposit's refundable, which they will refund the money. We've had people get their money refunded, so they do honor that. But I've asked them to put it in writing and they like refuse to do so. And so like imagine when we have a client and I tell them, look, they have refunded people money before, but they're refusing to like articulate that in this contract or in the offer letter, especially. What's up with that? Um, but overall, like I still think it's a pretty good purchase, to be honest, especially on Riverside. We have to check out a bunch of the other projects on there as far as competition because there's Seasons is an interesting one. Basically, what I've come to with our recommendations, especially with Almasi, is really there's clear winners or certain options that we'd recommend and other ones that we won't. If you're buying on Riverside, there's only a couple projects like Shovels there, but we have an advisory. I would wait until we should see a show house, but then if you do that, then you won't be able to get better units. You're going to pay more. But you know, kind of not sure about their finish quality. So basically, we kind of recommend one project in a certain area until it's pretty much sold out, just because it for most people it's going to work. So Executive Suites right now for us has been the winner on Riverside, but I do have to check out some of the other options. But the traffic thing, also Riverside's interesting because I think you could do long-term rental or Airbnb just as good. Usually on like the Upper Westland side, Airbnb probably wins out. Riverside is kind of like a hybrid where you can do both, which is kind of cool because you could always have, Airbnb can be a bubble for sure. The long term rental, I don't think there's a lot of risk of problems. But I guess I wasn't fully prepared yet, so next time when I really do, I'll have stuff arranged where I'm not idle. Oh, on retirement. I love the apartment selector that you added. Thank you. We always dreamed of having such a tool because selecting a unit when agents are sending you the floor plan, then you got to look up the price sheet, then you got to look up where the units are facing. It's crazy. And then, hey, what's the price quote on this? So I try to lay everything. Again, a lot of stuff we try to do is to make the information easier so that you can make a decision. We're not here to really influence the decision. Like, you've already decided if you want to buy or not. That's not our job. Our job is to like give you the power to make a good decision when, especially in a market that you may not know. Freedom, I'm sad because the dream property I was holding off on hoping to buy cheaper during election season appears that you cannot wait, man. I know it sounds like a sales thing, but there's no waiting. I know this election thing will, it'll be my first time seeing what happens in the market, but you can't wait. If you got to be decisive. Oh, I was supposed to do this. Let me bring this up. Oops. Um, Here's our website, and I just wanted to point out that we have a couple of resales. The Diani property that was in the Diani video. I hope you guys saw. That was really fun. Really good people. It's like, it's not just this building, it's another building on the other side as well. There's two structures here, over 10 bedrooms. It's for 85 million, which, is a good price. But like, if we have a prospectus on, like, if you ran it as a rental property for Airbnb, and we have some numbers there about that. So if you're looking for something in Diani, we have that available. There's some resales at Emerald. We have some land listed, and this is verified. We had the title deeds. We have everything with this property. I stayed there. So this is a good listing for us. We also have the land in Siokimau here. This is for a developer. Very interesting. It's 11.3 acres. And so if there's developers out there, check that out. We also have another beach plot that's just under 7 million on the second row here. Kikambala. Very interesting. A little bit, I guess it's still considered North Coast, but it's not that far from Mombasa. So if you're looking for a plot to build a beach house, that is available, and that has also been verified. And then we have Willis Wilson's property. Where is his at on here? It's Superguard. Oh, here we go. He has a 2-bedroom on the top floor, 18th floor. This is the show house picture. But this is the actual view from his property, and it's the street view. Again, this is the show house. This is 12 million, which is pretty reasonable on a 2-bed. This is the actual unit. I actually took these photos. Pretty standard stuff for Kilimani, but you're buying for the view. And if guys ask about currently available, it's available now because they're pretty much finishing up their completion. So we have that. And then we got a new listing, and we don't have great pictures yet. Polaris Residency. This is also in Kilimani, 12th floor, 1-bedroom plus study. These are just the pictures that they gave us. It is an interior unit. It does need a stove added. That is negotiable. Pretty standard stuff, but 1-bedroom plus study, kind of like a 2-bedroom. Yeah, pretty standard there. And this is like the location, right in Kilimani, kind of close to Gong Road. So if you guys are looking, and it's only 8 million, and so 8 million for a 1-bed plus study, Kilimani, currently available. That's actually a good price for what's going on. I have to send the team to do better photos and all that, but I wanted to point that out to everybody. And these are from Oscar, some of the resales that are available. different areas. Like Riverside 1, this place just completed. Goodness, their pricing is quite high though. See, that's why executive is interesting. But man, this place has really nice views actually. Where's the good view? The quality here is just kind of mid though, to be honest, but look at that view. So yeah, guys, we have some resales that people ask for. Oh, I see lots of comments. Someone talking about Golden Hill. We're going to talk about that. What do you think of executive? Yep. But I guess, yep. What do you think the cost of properties in 10 years will be compared to today? It's going to keep going up, I think. My thesis is that as long as the government don't mess something up, although they're trying to with this travel insurance requirement, I don't know why you want to discourage people from coming. I don't think that they're filling up the hospitals with uninsured people that can't pay. I think as long as the elections don't scare investment and people away, I think Nairobi will keep growing. Nairobi's benefiting. The Middle East conflict is making people look more towards Nairobi. South Africa, walling out, is bringing, because South Africa used to be the place if you wanted to invest in Africa, it's probably where you were going to go. Nairobi's winning. Nairobi is getting a much higher profile. Kenya's getting a higher profile in a lot of ways, and there's a lot of growth to be had. There's a lot of money in the world, so when the world starts looking to deploy money, the sky's the limit. I know people talk about the overbuilding. I don't even want to get into all that today. I think unless the government or there's instability messes things up, yes, I mean, look at Nairobi 10 years ago. People send me pictures and none of that stuff was there. So as long as they don't mess it up, I think it keeps going. How's the build quality of all the high rise? Well, it's a case by case basis. That's why we do individual reviews of all the projects. There's good stuff and there's horrible stuff, and everything in between just depends on the project. That's why I'm saying we end up we've really only focused on certain developers, because especially if I'm giving advice to you and you're spending 60, 70, 80, $200,000 on a off plan, I want to make sure that at the end of it, you're happy. And so I don't like taking risks. Or if you're taking a risk, I want you to know the risks involved with, hey, this is a new developer. We don't know what they're going to do. A bunch of other risks. We talk about all that stuff. Just know what risk you're getting into. With that said, for our foreign people, I want you guys to really know and understand that buying in Kenya and investing in Kenya is an elevated risk for you. And don't do that unless you have money that you're willing to put at at least a moderate level of risk with your property, whether it's the legal side, the scamming, just not being well enough informed, not having the information to make good decisions. Now we're trying to work on all these things, but don't let anyone act like it's not a big deal or there's not risk. There is a lot of risk. I'm trying to reduce that, because one of my things is that through my experience as a real estate person, that's what I spent my whole life doing. One of the things that I can be impactful about is if I'm able to make things easier for money to invest in Kenya, and that, trickles down into more employment, more money coming in, more investment, more money for everybody, to raise the standard of living, there's more tax money, there's more things coming in. Like, that's my way of being able to be productive and helpful in that kind of way. So like I keep saying, there's unlimited money in the world, basically. Like, your brain can't even comprehend some of the money that people have. And if they so decide that this is a good place, or Kenya is a good place, I mean, the sky's the limit, and here, I hope that the policies and everything in country makes certain that not only rich people benefit, that through if there's outside investors that this stuff is reaching everyone, the everyday person is benefiting in some kind of way. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with that. Oh, also, yeah, sorry, I missed you guys last week. I think I totaled my car. I was going to take some real estate photos for one of my agents in Atlantic City, New Jersey, about an hour and 10 minutes away. And I got into a moderately bad car accident. It likely was my fault. The insurance says it was my fault. I'm still not convinced. And I haven't been able to pull the video from the car. Yeah, so I've been carless. Thank goodness I have friends and family that let me hold on to a car. But yeah, that kind of sucked, right? And so they haven't decided if it's totaled yet. There's taken a whole long time. It's very annoying. I've never had airbags deployed, but my side airbags deployed, and I think they helped me a lot because maybe I would have hit my head on the glass on the side because I got hit from the side, or I hit them. I don't know. Again, but I feel very fortunate because the impact was crazy. It was like a big explosion, like boom, and then the airbags went off. There was dust everywhere. And electric cars, I know that they can catch fire if the battery gets pierced or damaged. So I thought the car was catching fire. But I had my camera in there. I grabbed my stuff. I hop out the car. After I realized what was happening, because it happened so fast. Like 1 minute I'm driving, and then the next minute all hell breaks loose. It was crazy. But the airbag really got me. I don't know if it's a burn or an abrasion, but luckily, that's kind of the only I was all bruised. I didn't know this actually happened until later, but yeah, I was all bruised along my side. But that's what tells me maybe I'm pretty lucky that nothing worse happened because I didn't even realize I got that. And the impact was really bad. So without the airbags and the safety of the vehicle, maybe I would have been more messed up. So I'm so fortunate. Also, guys know I've been on a fitness journey. I can't be out the gym and then lose all the progress and all that. So thank goodness. And I have insurance and everything. So I feel very fortunate. It's funny. I get in a car accident. I feel more grateful. I feel more gratitude than anything. Like I always think, dang, things could have been a million times worse. So let's see. Golden Hill. I don't know what's up with this developer, man. Like Golden Mansion, very mid. They had really good sales in the beginning because they had those promotional pricing and they had the wandering investor promoting them. Their sales haven't been that good. The show house is not good to me. There's nothing good about it, to be honest. And now they came out with this crazy ass project with this crazy pricing. It has a great location. And I know some of the other projects that they're coming out with, they're all really fantastic locations, but I wouldn't bet whatever crazy price because once I saw that project and how they were doing things, I kind of wrote it off. So I don't know. I think they went like 60 million for something. I don't know what their price sheet is. I don't even care. But would I bet 60 million Kenyan shillings on that project? Absolutely not. I don't care how awesome some people say debt can be. I'm sticking to zero. Nothing is as liberating as debt free. It changed my whole wealth journey. Yeah. I used to be the guy. I had $1.2 million of real estate debt at one point, and I was really proud of it. And now I only have one mortgage left, and I'm down to like 200,000. COVID scared the crap out of me. I see how you could go from being rich to broke in real estate in like 2 seconds because you have all this paper money in these properties that's not real, and let a couple of the tenants stop paying, you have to make mortgage payments, you're sitting on debt. Um, I don't know, you get a fine from the city, then prices change, and then you have vacancy. You go from driving a Rolls Royce to being broke and declaring bankruptcy. And I never understood that until COVID happened. And I've been in the business where I'm getting major expenses coming in, and I'm like, whoa, that gets scary if you haven't accounted for it. That doesn't mean that it's bad, but that just disturbs your peace. But not everyone wants to be peaceful. Some people, I know some other people that do very well because you'll go farther using debt, but it's not for me. Thank you. 265 Canadian. Wait, where's my buttons? Chu Fi. Fee. I'm so bad at reading like usernames. Thank you so much. I probably have to change the Diddy one, huh? Riverside is highly desirable for Nairobians and Kenyans. Yeah, I know they feel that way. Will they feel that way once they build all these projects and then you can't get there? I could be wrong. Look, I could be wrong about this take. And so I don't want to be overly dramatic, but that is my honest take about Riverside. I could imagine in the middle of the day, you're trying to go to Sarit Center and you're stuck in traffic for, let's say, 40 minutes, even though it should be a 10-minute drive. I don't want to deal with that. Why so many emerald resales? That's just because we know about them. But guys, the resale market, I don't know how robust it is, to be honest. Like, I see people putting their resales for a lot higher, but if no one's buying them, are they worth that? Willis Wilson, $5. Thank you. Super chat. I appreciate that. Unk alert. Erastus Mahoro HQ. Thank you. Thank you. Am I the Unk? Oh, man. I'm 38, guys. The clock is ticking. You know, I can't be a grandpa age with kids as a dad. That's crazy. I gotta sort that out. But the Nairobi ladies for me is very challenging. Not to meet them. Happy poop. Okay, 10 joules. I saw you were a bit. I know. I don't know what happened. Did the airbag? Was it a burn? Apparently, chemicals come off of the airbag, and or did it like rip the skin off? I have no idea. Pole about the motor vehicle accident. Santi, thank you, thank you. That bruise in the shape of Adidas symbol. I guess kind of. $4.99 now $5. Oh, I'm sorry. We got to remember the marketing tricks there with the 4.9. Is it 99 or 95? 38 is young. Yeah, but not to be like, okay, I'm 38. By the time your kid is 18, what's that? I got to do math. You'd be 56. That's too much. How you gonna be? You gonna be old? But such the life we have chosen, I guess. I don't know. I got to correct that situation. Bro, stay away from Nairobi ladies. They will say all the right things. Oh, yeah. I mean, but not all of them. You know what it is? As a foreigner, you run into the money ladies because they're looking for you. And the less money ladies are maybe a little harder to find because the money ladies will find you. You know? What's the expat community like? I don't know. I don't get involved in all that. I do like monthly road trips with some Kenyans that I know. I try to keep it very Kenyan. Kia from Traverse Culture, super cool. The whole YouTube community, some of the people are cool, but you know what it is, guys? A lot of people online, a lot of this online stuff, I think they're not mentally stable. Like they have a problem. Like I'm not trying to judge everybody, but some of these people are either they're trying to like they're desperate and trying to get money. Also, you have to be a little bit crazy from the States to want to move to Kenya or Africa, to be honest. Like not crazy in a bad way, but you have to be way different of a person because 99% of people are like, what? That's crazy. So you have to be an outlier already. And then you add the social media aspect, and then you add the potential to make lots of money on social media, or they need to make at least enough to be able to survive because they usually don't have the basis of income. And then, there's degenerates that get attracted because it's cheaper and maybe there's less accountability or at least a perception of less account. There's a lot of weird stuff like, stay. And that doesn't mean there's not good people. I've actually, especially the clients that we've met, I've met some fantastic people. I know a guy that he literally works, I didn't even know Kenya has a space program. Works with Kenya space program. I think he, worked with the U.S. space program, like super accomplished people. I know people that work for the World Health or World Food Organization, have been like working in Djibouti, Burkina Faso. They've been all over Africa doing amazing things. Guy from Germany does like corporate furniture business. Like some really cool people that I've met. That's why I don't really get into these topics or try to dive into it because I feel like the audience that I have are very like more normal people and maybe more accomplished and serious people that are looking um, at things differently. So I don't want to attract just like like if you do low hanging fruit content, you're gonna start attracting a different crowd of people. So I always think about that, which limits the YouTube upside, but that's fine. Like the YouTube isn't really the main, like trying to make money from YouTube. It's nice, but I think it has a ceiling because how many people are there really that are going to watch all the time about Kenyan real estate? Forget your logic and reasoning. It's all about your money. With the ladies, oh, they will find you all right. I thought I was careful and slow. They will find you. These passport bros have mental issues. There's a lot going on. Like, guys, I know what's going on. I just don't dive into all that. Got a Kenyan friend. They'll help you filter the money, ladies. Yeah, true, true. Hey, Ryan, sorry about the accident. Did you go to the hospital? No, I'm like anti-hospital, and I think it's just a superficial. I got a cut on my head because my head hit the side of the airbag, but I think the airbag prevented me from like smashing my head through the window or whatever. So again, very grateful, but nothing happened. Yeah. I mean, I'm not kidding. I'm crazy. I'm just tired. Hello. I'm never tired in Kenya. I'll be tired in Kenya too. Like you know what? The US, it's so much easier to get around in Kenya. Like if you got to go somewhere, it's a little bit of a hassle, to be honest. It's hard getting long-term residency in Kenya. No, just do a class N. You're good. For me, I need a work permit, so it's a little bit more expensive, more involved, but it's okay. Just stay away from the passport bros. Oh man, I mean, I'm a balanced kind of person, like I don't like extremes in any direction. Like if people are having consensual fun or whatever experiences, that's cool, but if don't take it too far. And then putting the ladies on display is the bad part. Like, and then I don't get it because they don't watch your content. Aren't they going to be mad? I guess maybe if they're paying them, I don't know. But these guys are traveling. I don't know. I'm not. Some of them, but not all. Not all these guys are like that bad. But yeah, I mean, if you're going there and you're broke on government assistance, that's crazy. The U.S. is not sending Kenya. Yeah, it's definitely not sending the best. Actually, I keep seeing this meme where they're like Nigerians in America are way better than Black Americans, and I'm like, because the ones that are able to make it are the top certain percentage. But if you take the average Black American and put them in Nigeria, they're going to be way richer. This is not a competition. We should be working together, number one. And it's obvious that the opposite is true, where like Kenya's not getting the best people. There are good people, but you're not getting our top 1% very frequently. Versus if you go from Kenya to the US, you're probably like to be able to make that jump is harder. So then you have to be a pretty high caliber person to be able to do that. They all become Nairobi real estate agents and travel consultants. Everybody's got to make a living. It's real fun to watch. Did you attend Nairobi Nexus? No, I've heard it's pretty cool. I am like, I try to really police, um, like the people around me, and then being on YouTube. I'm really uncomfortable with all that stuff, so I don't do it. So I don't know. I always say I should really go to these things, but I like going to like the developer parties or like when they announce things. That's what I like to do. That's more my vibe, I guess. Kenya use USA expat community is split. Cool older family crowd. B passport bro party crowd. Military entrepreneur business NGO. Yeah, there's definitely that's pretty much how those groups are. But there's not that many of the that D class. A lot of people don't get me started. The local people, it's also a class thing, middle class, upper. Yeah, so this is a problem for foreigners is that you don't have the social context to know the different classes of people. And it like I I'm not going to go to the hood and hang out here in the US. Something bad's going to happen just because like you're out, you don't fit. Like if you go, and this is going to sound bad, but like if you're rich in the hood, you're going to look like food to somebody eventually. So that works everywhere. The problem is that, and this is where the Swahili thing comes in because Kenyans can hear each other's accents. They see how each other dress. They can kind of tell where they're from. They have better judgment of each other as a foreigner. You don't have the cultural um, context to really understand these things. And with danger too, like in the US, I know if somebody looks shady by how they're dressed, what they're doing, how they're moving. I don't know the mannerisms as much in Kenya. And that applies to the class of the ladies too, because I mean, some of these guys, I think they're falling in love, and I'm like, yo, I think that lady's like, a worker. Kenyan police just arrested it. Yo, yeah, I saw that. It was on, is it Jeffrey Masoria's thing? a little scary. Um, if they're doing bad things, they should be arrested. But if they're not, any false allegations should be handled as well. But we'll see. But are they? I don't know. How does that? So what if a lady claims that? What happens? What kind of investigation do they do? It's a little concerning because things can be a setup. I'm not saying it is, but what's to stop that from happening? But also, some like the Jay Rello thing. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't arrest him. He probably should have been arrested with the lady, because clearly there was evidence of him doing something. You know, um, it's not good. And I do get I get forced into, like, I don't know, because I think the Black Americans in general are creating a bad stereotype in Kenya, to be honest. Uh, and whether it's true or not, or if it's fair or not, is doesn't matter. And I don't know what to say about it other than like it's very concerning. And I think we do have to police our own people, but I don't know. I don't know these guys. Or like, I don't know. Like, it's not good though, because this is what, like, as foreign people, you're a big representative of like a whole group of people, just because that's how humans work, right? Like, if you see three Black Americans on the internet going viral, that's what people think about them. Stay safe out there on these roads, Ryan. I only have a few YouTube for. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the highways are really dangerous in Kenya. Hey, stop hating on the passport bros. That word is it's hot on the streets. Just like, I don't like these terms because once you label the term, then there's no further discussion. So like the FBA stuff, passport bros. O'Shea's been commenting and stuff. I feel like if I go on their podcast, I'll talk about this stuff. I don't really want to be known or get involved in it, but I have some things to say about a lot of these topics. But it's not like, I don't think a lot of you guys come to my channel to hear about this stuff, so I don't talk about it. And Jordan Peterson said something. I don't know exactly like how I said it, but one thing I try to like, tell the truth, yes, but like tell the truth in a way where people can understand it. So like when we're talking about complicated topics, have I thought about it enough and how to speak about it enough to be accurate and understood about where you actually stand and what you're trying to say about these topics is very important to me. And I'm very careful about what I'm saying because, again, it's the internet. People can clip one part of what you're saying and then it could sound bad. So, and I'm, you know, I'm kind of a balanced guy. Like, that doesn't do well for YouTube because there's some of this and some of that, and I agree with parts of this and disagree with parts of that. But eventually, we'll talk about some of these topics. The FBA thing, I have some things to say. The Nairobi Nexus felt like a marketing scheme. Organo Gold World Venture. Really? Is that? I mean, but the lady Ella who did it, I'm happy that she, because that was her way of like sustaining herself in Kenya. And I mean, I don't think, yeah, if she's monetizing it, it is what it is. But um, I think people can get value out of it. It's just networking events are what you make of them. I hosted ones at my house. I have like a backyard pool party type vibe, and I always like to do them. I didn't do them this year though. I'm tired. Events are tough. Jack Dorsey likes Kenya. He's a one percenter. Jack Dorsey is Twitter former founder. Air quality seems to be terrible in Nairobi. It varies between 20 and 150. Yeah, because the vehicles and the traffic. Yeah, maybe we can get that kind of stuff on the website. What about the people working at the UN? Are they not like, I don't know them. I guess. I don't know. I never met any of them folks. I'm sure I will. Big shout out from Lewis. I was out in Kilimani last week and was on rest days. Next trip, I'll definitely shout you. No chat. Straight up value your time. Oh, okay. Wait, who's Lewis? I don't know. Ryan is being politically correct. You forgot missionaries. Okay. Did you look into other East Africa? Okay, Zanzibar, guys. You guys like okay, another unpopular opinion is I think Tanzania is uninvestable. And they're like, Zanzibar is different. Okay. Tanzania and a lot of other African countries, their independence movement was ran by communists. Communists don't think you should own anything. That's at the core of a lot of their policies. And so I don't think that it's safe to buy stuff where I'm pretty sure if they want to take your stuff, they'll just take it. And oh, well, Zanzibar is different. Okay. Did you see what happened with the election over there? Uninvestable to me. I don't care how nice Zanzibar is. I would buy in Diani and I would not do anything in Tanzania. Sorry. Term you're looking for, Ryan, is she's a hunter. Oh, yeah. Even if they don't seem like it. Please rate your experience in Kenya from 1 to 10. Has it lived up? I think you have to break it down into different sections. I I think I'd give it a 9 if I had to answer the question just like that. Yeah. I think really what keeps me in the States is just some of my responsibilities. My mom gets, I get worried about her. I haven't shipped my dogs over. My house in the States is nice. I have the whole backyard and pool. I have an apartment in Kenya. That's cool. But if I bring the dogs there, then what am I going to do? How do I take them out? I'm going to have to take them out 3 times a day, go up, down the elevator, do this. What if I need to go back to the States? Who's going to watch the dogs? See, in the US, I have more support. Um, it's tough. So it's more logistical that I haven't made a bigger move. I think the business environment's very exciting. It does get a little old to be like I do feel like people look at me as a ATM, which is a money machine. If I don't know if they have that term in Kenya, but um like I know you guys have ATMs. I don't know if you call them ATMs. It gets a bit old. And not just with ladies, with guys, like you can't trust people. Even like when I show up to the real estate events, I'm quite popular. I see their eyes get big. They want to collab. They want to partner. I'm like, and the problem is, and this is something O'Shea says a lot, is they won't give you equal value back. They just want to extract value from you. And I'm a bit hip to the game now because it already happened with the Sadia Realty people and all that, where like they'll they'll suck all the value out and then just act like nothing happened. And it's like, I know what you're trying to do. And that's what the ladies do, to be honest, is. And that's not just in Kenya. This is like, when you're talking about the ladies thing, like, when I wasn't successful was the time probably to like lock in with somebody, because I don't know if you can have a real relationship, or it's going to be predicated a lot on what you're able to do, which, okay, that's fine, but it's different. And when you know that, you're like, that, you know. Mm. Saw a Nigerian guy was scooped up for beating and recording. Yeah, first of all, he didn't read Nigerian to me, and he's from the U.S., but maybe he's Nigerian American. I don't know. You should watch the whole video. I'll say that. It's a bit. The facts of that case looked a little. Again, if he did it, throw him in jail. But I don't know. Why are you bringing up Black Americans? You could wait to bring us up. It's white men doing what? I'm a Black American, bro. It doesn't matter what other people are doing if we're if we're and I agree with that, but if we're marketing it, and when I say we, I mean like as Black Americans, if we're, the thing is it's getting a lot of awareness. And I agree there's bias. I do think the white guys probably can get away with more, but you don't have control over that. We have control over, like, as a group, they're giving us a bad name. And when I say they, it's not like there's different versions of this, and it's like, where are they on the line of like doing too much and giving us a bad name versus, young and having fun and traveling? Some corrupt policeman trying to get money out of you by putting drugs into your pockets by some other people. Jeez. The police on the highways are looking for ways to get money. Yeah, I get stopped a lot, but again, I'm built for this, guys. That's the thing. Like, that's what I get worried about. I kind of know how to handle these situations. At least I think so far. Again, military, I've traveled a lot. I, by Swahili, I understand a little bit. So if I hear people talking, I can kind of know something that they're saying. There's some tools that I have that can help. Abdi's legal advice is next door. Abdi, yeah, if I, hopefully I don't run into a situation like that, but I'll be calling you. Help me. The police are here. Oh, man. Jay Rello is planning to go back to Kenya. Gosh. Honestly, I didn't know that it was that bad till I saw what he was doing. Like, that is a kind of a weird community, but I don't want to put everybody that's adjacent to it in the same group, but there are some strange, bad people. Funny because Austin said there was no pollution in Kenya. You know what's funny? As soon as you get out of Nairobi, even if you go to Riverside, for example, the air will be much different. If you are on Waiyaki Way, the air quality is very bad. But the thing is, Nairobi is very green, so Kileleshwa, Lavington, these areas, when they're green, you feel the air quality difference immediately. So it's very situational to where you are. But that's why I thought it was cool that they came out with the vehicle inspection thing, because the smog or the vehicles are polluting, and it would be good to stop that. But people, you don't want to stop somebody from being able to operate their vehicle necessarily if you don't have a lot of money. Like, so there's got to figure out that policy. But it's a problem, but this is why I care about zoning, right? Like, when they build these new developments, they should have to have a certain amount of trees or a certain amount of greenery so that Nairobi stays green. Again, it's not my decision to make or anything like that, but that's just my perspective and my hope for how they do things, is to keep greenery and require it by law and make sure that it's enforced. These conversations, and more so the site visits, introduces me to the value in Kenya, especially the site visits and conversations with potential investors who visit. Thank you. If you guys just got here, I was asking, why the heck do you watch this? Because it's very niche. I could see how it could get pretty boring. I really don't. I'm not spicy. I keep things kind of moderate. Like, what do you watch this channel for? How does it benefit you? You know, I just want more information because sometimes I'm wondering, like, what's the scope of things that I should be talking about on here on this particular channel? Like, what are people looking for? How can we make it better? You know, because I'm going back next month, and I usually have kind of like a plan on like what I want to accomplish, what with the content, with the business, and everything. So your feedback is greatly appreciated. Abdissalam, does your phone on the website has WhatsApp? Would love to get your WhatsApp for consultation. Martin, what's going on? Yeah, so Rwanda's on the list, okay? Tanzania, no. Rwanda, yes. I'm so boring because I don't like to travel, but I feel like I need to go to Rwanda for sure. Yeah, Ethiopia. I like the history there. Never been colonized, and the way they do things is quite interesting. I've heard the language barriers may be a little challenging, and I want to go to Cape Town just because it's nice. But are we allowed to go there? Are the Zulus going to come get me? I don't know. Speaking anecdotally, just from my friend group, there's definitely a cooling or even backlash brewing on a certain foreign demographic. Don't think it'll get to. Yeah, I agree. I get concerned about that, but at the same time, I can only like do what I can do. Yeah, China's also run by. Yeah, that's why I want to buy property there. And actually, if you talk to the Chinese developers, a lot of them are in Kenya to get away from communism. If you have a good conversation with some of these guys, I mean, they're trying to go be more independent and free, and that's why they like Kenya, actually. Teaching in Dubai, I'm stacking my paper for investment and look to you as a connect from all the crowd. Consult on 2-bed and also land in Machakos, Syokimau. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. A white guy was crying on Twitter about his property being taken. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, you bought in a communist place that thinks they don't believe in ownership. I'm telling, like, guys, understand history. This is why I like Kenya. If you looked at their independence movement and what they did with the British land and stuff after independence, it was much more of a free market approach. And I'm not saying it's perfect, but I feel like it was handled one of the better ways, although it definitely left inequality and all these things. I'm not saying, I'm not like, oh, it was great. But I think that they got things more right than other places. Please stay in your lane. You're doing it. Thank you. Property was taken in Tanzania. Guy was British. Yep. They see me as an ATM. People I haven't heard in months will ask for money. Way too many people. Yeah, it happens to diaspora Kenyans as well. So it's not, I don't take it personal, but it gets annoying. I got my heart broken more times in 1 month in Kenya than I have in my entire life. Wait, no, I have the perfect button. It didn't play. See, I don't want to get all into this, but I don't think I'm falling in love again, to be honest. We just got to have a practical relationship at this point because I'm too old for that. Been there, done it. I'm good. Let's just get along, you know. Never mind. Time to get that house lady boys' quarters occupied to watch the dogs. Yeah, I gotta get Belgravia. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm sorry. She gets free. Yeah, I'm totally subscribing to that. I just need to get the mini studio for to do something like that. But yeah, I'm with that. Thanks for answering. No problem. Thanks for asking the question. It makes the conversation better. ZJ, what's going on? $300 a month is too much. She gets free. Hey, we'll figure it out. If you can get your heart broken the hard way in the States or the soft way again, please hit the like button. Oh, yeah. Hit the like button. Thank you. And having lived in many developing countries, yes, the ATM thing can get tired very quickly. It's everywhere because the West have marketed themselves very well. Heavy is it? Yeah, exactly. Like you can't complain because it comes with some benefits, but I'm just saying this can be tiring. And then you're like, am I having real relationships with people? Guys and girls again, pause. Just like, what is the context of our relationship? And it sucks to have to be that way because then you have to be a bit closed off. Again, this is why you need to know Swahili because there's subtle context to communicating that is lost in the it's not a language barrier, but and I need Kenyans to speak about this. I can't speak for y'all, but from my observation, I would think some things are better said in Swahili for like how the meaning, because not all words translate the same, like the vibe of the words. And so when I'm hanging out with a lot of Kenyans, like on like my road trip, I might go on. Eventually, they start speaking to me in Swahili, like English and Swahili, and I gotta like try to understand because it's natural for certain things to be conveyed in different languages. Is what I'm trying to say. If Rello goes back to Kenya, he'll be jailed. It's that simple. People, yeah, but jailed for what at this point? You know, I don't know how the law works, so I don't know. And I'm not saying he shouldn't. I'm just saying I have no idea what happens. Crazy question. When fly to Kenya, what class? I I don't like spending a lot of money on travel. Sometimes when I use my credit card points, so sometimes the points difference for premium economy is not that much. I'll do premium economy, but otherwise I'm flying cheap, whatever. What's that? Third class economy? I was in the army. Like, you ever fly in a C-130 on a camo net with all your gear on you and your vest and your rifle? And there's and there's people next to you like you can't even move. So I'm on the plane like this is the best. And I usually take a flight from Philly to London. And I think, what have I taken that 6 or 8 different flights? I'd say 90% of the time, no one's next to me on that particular flight. Going there and coming back. I was very lucky. So I'd never have a problem. Ryan, someone suggested a future website feature, average air quality where the community is. What? Oh, I have a very exciting partnership with a Kenyan diaspora who has done some good work that we're going to collaborate on some work on that has to do with tech and real estate. So be on the lookout for that. I'm just trying to make sure that the deal makes sense for everybody and is all set up first. But I think they're really going to do something very interesting that's going to help everybody. Most people here are interested in Kenya. Most intend to relocate. Yeah, it's funny. People want to consult with me about like lifestyle stuff, and I never talk about that much. Also, I think I'm weird. I don't think I'm the normal relocation person. Like if you watch that Web Nation Africa, those people have way different reasons than me when I'm, like I don't feel the same. I think I have a much different perspective on a lot of things. And that America hating thing is a big one. It bothers me. I don't like it. Stop hating. Celebrate the 4th of July, okay? America and freedom. I say, oh no, cancel them. As for the reputation issue, Ryan, never forget you wanted to see how interesting oh man. I had no idea that I just thought these guys like travel, have some fun. I didn't think it would be they get into the darkness. I'm a bit naive because I'm just not really. I'm not. I don't know. Am I regular? I'm just chill. Like there's some of the stuff I can't imagine. Like, and then the commenters, uh, egging certain things on or having certain attitudes is really nasty. But I don't. There's also people like if I was a young guy traveling and you want to do the dating scene and go on dates or whatever, I don't think that's bad. But yes, some of the stuff going on is like crazy. And this is what I like. Again, this is where I'm boring and unbalanced because it's obvious. Like some of the really some like they were over the line with some of the stuff he, especially Jay Rello specifically, which I had no idea. I didn't know. Apparently, dude was in jail and stuff. I didn't know. And I'm like, what? But now I know. I see. They see you as a pioneer, so they're very keen on you. Yeah, I mean, that is what I'm trying to do. Try to share my experience so people can avoid some of the issues that I've had. I'm a real estate investor in the U.S. What is the best country to invest real estate or otherwise? I was thinking South Africa since I visited. Uh, I haven't been to that many countries to say to like. I can't say. Um, I don't like the macro picture of South Africa. I think, and I've always said this, until they deal with the hangover of apartheid, it will never be able to advance. And if you look, their GDP, if you account for inflation and their population growth, is basically going down. The place is getting worse, not better. And it stems from they've never restructured their society properly after ending apartheid, in my opinion. And so this is when I look at investments, that is actually how I do things. Is I have a macro thesis about why am I doing this investment? What is the story and fundamental reason or theme behind it? And so for like Tanzania, for example, to me is uninvestable because I don't think they understand or believe property rights in the same way that we may understand it. So I don't trust it. South Africa, they're regressing because the transfer of power from the black South Africans or from the whites to the black South Africans has not been executed well, and you're seeing all the problems, and it's manifesting into the symptom of xenophobia. So they're not even addressing the real issues, and so they're not going to fix it because they don't even know what the problem is. Let's just say they live vicariously through. Not me. I don't do nothing. Kenyans have a lot more bigger problems to worry about than passport bros, like protecting the Kenyan women against violence. Yeah, like that's not for us to talk about. We got to talk about things within our own realm of stuff, you know? And I'm not here to bash Black Americans because I'm a Black American, you know? But I'm just trying to be fair. Do bad at very low scale frequency compared to whites, but African American YouTubers brag about their negative behavior and recruit. Yeah, skip Uganda if you think you are seen as an ATM. I think I would only go there. I would like to check it out just to say I've been there, but I'm still trying to get on O'Shea's pod. I think I have a lot of things to say about that. So, you know, for me, like temporary isn't that annoying. Uganda, they will see you as a bank, literally. Yikes. That cooling may actually help in the long run, forces most of us Western guys to operate on our own individual reputation. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Eddie, what's going on, man? The Airbnb rating goes down if some of your renters are pressed by police to go to jail if not giving them 1 million. Yeah. Also, know how to negotiate. Players and play for pay men have no problems. Yeah, but you could run into a problem because you don't know things. Like okay, let's be real, guys. I know I don't talk about this stuff a lot, but um, some of these ladies will just tell you to pay them and you didn't know. Now you have a problem. The reason why you didn't know is because it's obvious, but you didn't know because you have no context of anything because you just got there. Can happen. Zulus are more in Durban. You'll be fine in Cape Town. The only thing is you're not black. Yeah, I'm colored. I'm a person of history. You know what bothers me? When Tyler went to the Breakfast Club and they gave her all that crap because she said, I'm not black, I'm colored, and they got all offended. And I'm like, guys, the colored means something different in South Africa than it means in America. But the ignorance of Americans that don't know anything, it's very annoying. She never recovered from that too. From like they bullied the crap out of her. That was messed up. So I'm aware like colored is like almost a whole racial category in South Africa. I don't know what the context of that is necessarily, but I know like the existence of that as a class. Hi Ryan, as someone who has traveled to different African countries and see the developments, I'm trying to be positive about new developments. There are a lot of opportunities for everybody. I think so. You got to be careful. Lots of options. Got to pick the best ones. That's what we try to do. Kenyan women are long game player artists. They are the. I I've taken some ladies quite seriously, and then I've been disappointed. But part of it's me, you know. It's a little hard when you know being a target has its benefits and downsides. You know, but actually, it's a downside when you're really trying to be serious, and then see, like you could get your heart broken, like Willis Wilson, you know, a couple times in a month. That makes me sad. You feel you won't fall in love again? Yeah, I don't think so. I'm over it. I'm not. I'm not hurt. I'm just. I don't see the. I just don't see the reason for value in Kenyan investment, the real estate market, financial markets. Guys, the financial markets in Kenya are very interesting. They came out with the ETF for the banks. That seems like something very interesting. Most of the stuff I talk about with the financial markets is in the members only because I don't want to like promote it because it's risky. Like Where's your money going to go? I don't know. But the returns are quite high. But what's going to happen with the election, I'm not sure. I ask some of these finance people, and no one gives me a really good answer. Haley, what's going on? What's up? What's it like repatriating your funds? Oh no, I don't do that. So this is a big gap in my ability to advise people is I don't repatriate money from Kenya. The money, any money made in Kenya will stay there. I don't see me taking any money to the States. So when people ask about taxes and all that stuff, I'm like, well, I can't say, but don't tell the IRS, Like I don't know. So I don't do that. I would just keep reinvesting. And since I live there, I spend the money there when I'm there. Like I have two lives. It's weird. My US money is my US money. Now I've reallocated some to Kenya, but I've never taken money back from Kenya to the States. I don't know that I would. Um actually I don't okay. Disclaimer, I do not know if this works or the ramifications of it. If you have significant money in Kenya, I think what you should do, and when I say should do is a theory, this needs to be verified. What you should do is take a loan from your Kenyan company, and that's how you can pay yourself. Just like Elon Musk takes a loan against his assets or whatever, and then he pays it back to his own company. That's probably some sort of strategy that you should do, but you have to do it properly. Um, that's kind of what I'm thinking. If you want to repatriate the money, so you come up with whatever your loan is, you'd have the company sign the loan docs. Hopefully, you have the proper Kenyan um, board member that can sign that form that you're taking a loan from the Kenyan company to you personally. And then you could receive the money, and then you will have to send, I don't know, annual payment back to the company, or you have to pay. It has to be a real loan. Again, just a theory or a thought. I don't know. I'm not saying go do it tomorrow, and you just got to talk to the appropriate people, but something like that seems like a good idea. He's definitely going to be in love again. No, no, no. I'm immune. See, I was there all, you know, what, 6 months last year? Nobody got me. Not that I'm running. I just don't think it's possible. Air quality ratings. Yep. To the guy speaking about heartbreaks in Kenya, this is exactly why you don't go looking at any places for love. That love has to be a side effect. As a foreigner, if you're looking for a good quality Kenyan lady, what I think, and I'm not expert, I have no idea what I'm talking about. They need to come from like a good family or something, and they have money already, because I have met um, some ladies that are like that, that don't ask for, that they don't do all that typical stuff you guys are talking about. That works much better. Educated, don't necessarily need to be like highly employed or anything, but just like, I don't know, I guess their dad takes care of them or something, but it's a different experience, to be honest. They're definitely not asking you for money, and I think it's a more better type of setup. But you need to learn Swahili again. We started watching you because you're making Nairobi market much more transparent, which we appreciate, and because oh, thank you. Yeah, transparency is important, and it needs to be backed up by some kind of data. We're working on the data collection to justify claims. I need probably another 4 or 5 months before we really could start like talking about it, because we need data over a period of time. Um, We're getting a research access for Air DNA. We're going to start collecting historical data on the Airbnb market. And then, with AI now, it really helps with the data analysis. If you can get all the raw data, you can start making inferences and understandings from all the raw data. So I've been spending a lot of time collecting raw data and stripping data to its fundamentals, and then we can rebuild it up into like a digestible information and have proper insights about what's actually going on. It won't be perfect because you can't capture everything that's happening. For example, we're tracking around 40 developments and their sales right now. The way they give us the data is always a little bit sometimes hard, but we've been able to start tracking this kind of stuff. And so we'll know how fast each one's selling, the different price points. One bedrooms in Killer Lakes Raw selling better than one bedrooms at Westlands? Maybe what's the hottest type of unit? And then when we can start adding the rental aspect to it, we'll be able to speak about these things with facts instead of anecdotal evidence. I think it's because your different perspective that we want lifestyle advice. Oh, interesting. Sorry, but foreigners look in the wrong places. For starters, no Kenyan man meets their wife in a club. Yeah. That's the other thing. If you're in foreigner spots, guess who you're gonna meet? Ladies looking for foreigners. I was in Air Force, so I'm not familiar with your struggle of flying when you were active. Yeah, because you guys had. What's up with the Navy? The U.S. Navy is looking bad right now, okay? I was in Iraq for 15 months, okay? Eating MREs at a JSS site, which is there's like 50 of us at an Iraqi police station, one hot meal a day. I lived in a converted Iraqi shower stall. The air conditioner broke in the summertime, and they on this Navy ship crying. What? The Navy's down bad. 7 months. They crying about being at sea for 7 months. Get the heck out of here. Sorry, guys. If you don't know, the USS Abraham Lincoln has been in combat operations outside of Iran, doing operations and I'm not talking about the war or any of that, but there's a whole bunch of guys on the ship complaining, calling home, asking their mommy to complain and write Congress. What? This is our military? Crying. Refer then to Austin Holloman for party lifestyle and traverse culture for proper relocation services and medical like hair transplant. Yo, I think I look good bald. Jay Varela will be fine. Kenyan men, literally. Yeah, but you can't compare. Foreigners are different people. The people in government, yeah, but they cared to get some clout, because why the heck was that video posted of them arresting the guy when they don't know if he's guilty or not? But then, why are you falling on the floor and stuff? The countries I'm looking closely at outside of Kenya are yes, that's exactly me as well. Kenya, Rwanda and Ethiopia seem not next best. They're in the same category. I think the thing with Rwanda is what happens after Paul Kagame leaves. Is his strong leadership keeping everything so organized, or is their system fixed? I don't know. And then Ethiopia, they just have a long history. The problem there, language barrier, the property rights situation there aren't that good for foreigners, although they're making some amendments and adjustments to that. But the way they do things is pretty good. They built that super dam. That's good. They do have the conflict with Tigray, the northern areas, and they always got beef with Eritrea because they want access to the water. And I guess they were all together as Abyssinia at one point. So I'm not saying that they're not like it's not the end of the world, but those are some of the concerns there. South Africa is still times better than Kenya, though. Even yeah, for now, maybe. I don't know. I've never been there. Ryan, you are more candid than the influencers. That's why people ask you about. Oh, I know, but I get worried about talking about that stuff. Because I don't like when people talk about the U.S. Well, we got we got people from other countries becoming politicians and then trashing the U.S. That's crazy. So I never want to be that guy that you just got to tread lightly about that stuff, in my opinion. Money has not changed hands in South Africa. I think they're not independent. If a few have all the money in the world and they look alike, that's the problem, right? That never got sorted. The group's reputation has been ruined by predators. Not saying it's you, but you passport bros should be checking your crew. Now people have turned on the whole label glow. Yeah, it's not good, man. Ryan, back to real estate. Is Nairobi relatively safe to buy a property? I'm talking about building falling down and killing people. So I used to say just plain yes in the good areas, or not good areas, but like in Westlands and Kilimani and the lower market. Most of the collapse and weird stuff that you would see would be happening in South Sea, but then we had some building collapses, not full collapses, but a couple happened in even Westlands and close to Brookside on School Lane. It's riskier. Like when I'm in a building, I do think sometimes, like, how safe is this building? So I think that's the reality that we have to think about. This is why I hyper focus on quality. Now I'm looking at finish quality, so you could always have good finish quality and have horrible like structure and stuff. But usually, and this is why I focus on how the developer acts, how they communicate, how's their sales office work. Because usually if you act professionally in many ways, you're likely to be building in a more professional way. And this is kind of what we try to do is mitigate that risk, which I'm not there testing the concrete. Actually, the Belgravia / Luminar people, they have sent me their concrete tests. They are pretty transparent and are like they understand that if they're first, they believe in their products, so they're willing to be transparent. And so I know people might think, oh, he's got special deals with them, or like he's always promoting them. But because they're transparent and how they do things, I feel more comfortable in their building than some other people that their sales office is in a junkyard. You know? And I do understand construction. Like, okay, Astra Bay, for example, they're using the bamboo sticks to hold up the concrete forms. That's a cheap way to do it, and it's not that good. You can do that, but it shows how you're doing your construction. At Luminara, they're using the steel framing poles to hold up each level as they're doing the concrete. That means something to me. Actually, even look at the block work, because Luminar always posts their project. Look at the interior block work. it looks a little better than a lot of other people's. And the argument is that interior block work isn't that consequential because they plaster over it. But why does it need to be so messy? And so from a construction standpoint, like if I go in a house flip or something and they got trash all over the place while they're working, I know that the contractor's not thorough because a good contractor cleans their area. So when I go to a Kenyan construction site or off plan, and I think this, but I probably don't always say these kind of things on camera. But I'm like, this work site is a freaking mess. They got empty they got rubble just everywhere, so you can't even walk your ankles. You're gonna sprain your ankle. How the heck are they cutting? And then they're cutting tiles on top of it. Like it's a whole mess. Which is the average. So when I see people or when I see developments that are a little bit more organized, I start favoring them. So when you see me like talk more about one project or another or favor one or another, these are some of the things that go into why I like something or think it's better. I thought you were in the military in Iraq. After seeing all those bodies, you gonna talk about heartbreak. I didn't say I was having heartbreak. You've been open about talking GLP-1s. Are they easy to get in Kenya? I'm sure if they are, they would be extremely cheap. Yeah, so I know Kia actually was talking, she got it, but I think she's got just Ozempic. I talked to another lady that works at like a beautician place, but it's very expensive actually. And they give you a low dose. What was I kind of feel like I need to talk to the Chinese because actually the peptide market is all from China other than from like the drug companies. So I get mine, and I'm not promoting this, but I get mine from like the gray market where it's like research purposes only and they come from China. I'm trying to find a direct China link for peptides because I know you can get them much cheaper, but I don't know the person for it. But if you go through the hospital, I don't think it's much cheaper or better because I don't even think I think you got to go there to get it, or at least that's what Kia was saying. But I'll ask her more about it on the official route. But personally, I'd probably try to find the China Connect on it. But then you got to get it tested to make sure it's pure. Passport bros will be fine. We're not moving the needle in Kenya. The people who should be complaining are the Kenyan women. I don't see them complaining. Are developers open to crypto? I think they will take it. So when you talk about repatriation, that's probably something that you could do. Melissa, the OG. TPS has ended, so 250,000 Somalians are getting deported to Kenya, possibly. What? Just tuning in. Are you South African? No, I'm American. Nairobi is definitely going to have a demographic shift. The South Africa versus Kenya debate is endless. If you like SA better, then it's for you, but 10 times better. Just you are live to, hey, Dr. Deco, what's going on? SA better than 10 times than Kenya is not. I'm not getting into that. They were jumping overboard. There's literally nothing Kenya that's better than SA. Well, I'm not getting into that. I've never been to South Africa. I can't even say. They don't speak English in Ethiopia. Uh-oh. Don't see, look, they're starting. What? Where's this information coming from? Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I've been wondering how the U.S.-Iran war is affecting Kenya. Can anyone tell us what it really looks like on the ground? It's a good question. when it first kicked up, I was like, they were talking about there was only a couple weeks left of fuel, so I definitely went and got fuel. And then they kept raising the price, and then they had the protests because of the matatus, and then no one could. Nairobi was a ghost town. It was really creepy. Um, no one was there on a weekday. It was so strange. Yeah, I'm ignoring this Somali SA versus Kenyan conversation. I live in Toronto, bought condos 8 years ago, 8 years old, and the common elements were cracking. The building become shake. They reinforce it, but they, ooh, yeah, I haven't been to all them places. Sinkholes may become a problem because of the water level. Access to meds in Kenya is a big thing. I don't see discussed enough. Many Americans take meds that aren't available in most other. Yeah, but I think you could get comparable or better, not better, but comparable things. Why are you traveling on ADHD meds and depression meds? What the heck? You got to stay where you at. You got problems. You just don't get it. Most Kenyans, even the poor ones, own land. Oh, okay. What was I going to say? I talked about selling my property. What was I going to talk about? I had some other things on the list. You guys distract me with this SA fight. Who cares? Go where you like to go. You know? Dang, I had another topic. See, I should write things down. I usually be like, I got it. Oh, real estate versus the capital of financial markets. My whole life has been real estate. I joined the Army in 2006. My plan was to do my time in the Army, get a great job with the military experience and all that stuff, pay for college, get a degree, have a skill, and invest in real estate and not have student loan debt. That was my plan at 16, 17. Well, the real estate was the plan. Then I was like, oh, if I join the Army, it'll like expedite all these things. And I pretty much did all that. 4 years in the Army, 15 months in Iraq, 1 year in Germany, time in Texas. And after I got back from Iraq, I bought my first property 2010. That's after the financial crisis. I got a really cheap price, cheap interest rate. Not 11 Bravo. I was a computer networking guy, although I didn't get much. I got unlucky in my military time because I was out in the middle of nonsense. Not like combat necessarily, but I was out in the sticks. But anyway, I have been buying property since 2010. I had 10, 11 rental units. I did almost a dozen flips, and then some of them we kept to rent out. And what like the time that I was doing it was very profitable. If you did the same thing today with the prices and interest, you wouldn't. It's not affordable. You used to be able to buy a property and it would make money as a rental, even if you didn't get it as a good deal. Now the mortgage is much higher. The other thing is that, with example, for the first property that I bought, you're squeezing money out of it from the rental, but a lot of that money ends up coming back when you have to, like, I had to replace 3 air conditioning units because it was a 4-unit property over the, 15 years? Or did I have it for 15 years? 12 years that I had it? I was going to need a roof. It needed a foundation repair. all the kitchens and bathrooms probably needed to be renovated. So, like, if you take a property on 15 to 20 years and then you take the rental income and then renovating the property, like major overhaul, you probably don't make as much money as it looks like you make on these properties. Add the fact that interest rates are much higher if you're taking on debt for the property. Add that if you're in a stupid state that has stupid eviction laws, uh, they'll hold your property hostage for a long time and mess your property up, and you won't ever see that money again, and you'll still have to make your mortgage payments. This is how you go broke. You have it happen to a couple properties at the same time and don't have enough reserves, you're gonna be in trouble. And this is, so if you guys watch the video about the Kenyan rental property, which is owned outright in cash, and if you do unfurnished rentals, you're going to see about 12 to 18% return on investment, cash on cash, if everything is going smoothly. Sometimes I wonder, is it even easier just to own stocks? And you could just press a button to buy or sell it? Like I'm like, we went through a lot of hell with some of these properties. Like when we did a good flip, we were like 35% net income. That's pretty good, but I mean, I had Tesla stock too, and it did way more than that, and I didn't have to like hurt my back or lift any heavy things or deal with permits or get phone calls that the plumbing's not working or whatever. So, you know, real estate is not the only wealth generation tool, I guess is the thing that I want to say. And this is coming from someone, my whole life literally has been real estate. Like I'm only able to be here because I'm in a real estate office right now. Um, that's been a tough thing for me, like here in the States, because it's my business. We make money when people buy and sell property, property management. Um, I a lot of what I do is help agents build their own business. Um, and then a lot of people come to me on they want to invest like I did and all that whole thing. And I'm like, put your money in the stock market. I don't know. Like I'm not feeling it right now. So these are just good thoughts and considerations. I don't really have much of a conclusion or a point about it, but this is something to be thinking about. Even with the Kenyan real estate, don't go crazy. Like there's other avenues. I think it's good to have real estate as part of your portfolio, but then you think Kenyan real estate, like I always tell people, it's a higher risk. Okay. So make sure you have a balanced portfolio. You're not risking all of your assets on this one thing. For those of you guys relocating, I hope you're investing. I hope that I think for some people, like I get scared for people that want to sell everything and just move to Kenya, especially if they're doing it without like a good income plan. And then some people have kids and a family, and I'm like, man, this is a heavy decision. I don't know. I get uncomfortable. I don't know what to tell people. I can't speak for them. Like they know what's good for them. And then some of the reasons why, in my opinion, are a little thin. Like, is Trump that bad that you're going to sell everything and risk moving to a country that you don't know? Are the police that bad? I don't know. But I can't, I can't speak for people. All I could do is share the information that I have and my perspective. I don't try to make decisions for people. I just try to give them considerations. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's see. Let's see. You guys are polluting this with this Somali FBA conversation that I have no interest in. I'm 100% stocks. I only buy property I want to live in. And then what do you think about buying versus renting? So true about rentals. Don't forget the property tax. Yep. Army veteran here. Also Ryan 54 Bravo. Oh, NBC. Hey, shout out to you. Got out and became a lawyer. Oh, shoot. Nice. And a pass, bro, stop using passport, bro. Stop it. It's a bad, you got to come up with a different thing. I mean, do you, but because you know what it is? I used to say that passport bro stuff, but I didn't know that there's real degenerates that claim that stuff and it's been tarnished. I thought it was just like, oh, I'm having fun going other places. There's some degeneracy in that group that I would not want to be associated with. Not saying you are, obviously. Just, the whole FBA thing again, I have a whole thing I want to talk about with the FBA thing, but it requires a lot of nuance, and this is not the platform for that. So I'm thinking about doing stocks. I'm not promoting this, but you can invest in Kenyan stock market and mutual funds, which is quite interesting to diversify. I'm not saying put a whole bunch of money. I'm going to make a video about the one app that I have with the one fund because you can literally, if you have a KRA pin, you can actually invest with just the KRA pin, and you don't need to physically be there. It's actually pretty cool. They have some fixed income funds because the bond rate in Kenya is so much higher. Like if you're using savings accounts in the US and you're getting 4% or 3.75%, the money market accounts in Kenya are getting 10 to 12%. That's a fixed income asset. Now, what's the risk? I don't know. But usually fixed assets are better. Are they going to default on their debt? I doubt it. So what if you're buying Kenyan bonds or a mutual fund based off of Kenyan bonds? What if this AI bubble happens? Which, guys, honestly, AI is changing everything. Like, I'm looking at like a lot of stocks for power generation because the data centers, people are complaining, but it's going to happen. There's no way it can't happen. It's too powerful. So how do you invest in AI? You got to think about indirect ways. So like that doesn't mean buy OpenAI, which is ChatGPT stock, or Anthropic, which is supposed to come out, but it's going to be valued at 2 trillion market cap. Yikes! Just like SpaceX. I don't know. I'm just thinking out. These are the thought. So I've been selling real estate and I'm rotating. I've rotated assets to Kenya. I'm pretty much done doing that. So now I'm kind of letting the Kenyan stuff make its own money so that I can reinvest it. And then my US stuff is kind of separate. But I've been rotating my assets from real estate to some fixed income, simple cash savings account, dividend, ETFs, mutual funds, just read kind of like I said in the beginning, like if I disappear one day, it's because I got tired and I guess my fixed income investments have become enough where I'm just like, you know what? I don't need this. I'm gonna be out in I don't know. I'll be out somewhere on a property I built with some cows and some chickens. I'll have a big beard. They won't recognize me anymore. The difference was no, no, no. See, there's a bad word here. See that word trading? Trading? We don't do that. Is that they can go down, but properties generally do monthly income. Yes, that's why it's good to have both. But trading, no, we don't trade. Africa doesn't make it easy for Black Americans to run, well, anybody to run businesses in their country and their business culture. Yes, that's all true. Yeah, we love Nairobi, Kenya, but she's not on sale. Oh. I always say real estate is a big no. So I don't agree with that. The return on real estate is 5% to 7. No. Anywhere in the world for the last 30 years. Well, if you stack your money and no, see, you lost me. Crypto's not any better. I do some Bitcoin, really only just Bitcoin. All that other stuff is nonsense. But I wouldn't rely on it. Dropping your whole life without a safety net for family is crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Yes, New Jersey is one of those stupid rental states. I had some past experience with our family living in the past in Roselle Park. Yeah, exactly. Crazy. 9 out of 10 people who move to Africa are broke and then they return. Yep, that's true. Africans and immigrants stay in the West and build and run businesses back there. Yeah, New York City is also a tough. Oh, I mean, forget New York City at this point. Good luck. Wait for a couple years. That place is gonna be messed up. There's a reason since you can't get mortgage. Yep. You know what's funny? Debt is a good equalizer, but it's also very dangerous. What is FBA? Oh no, we're not doing that. You clearly don't understand the ethnic landscape of modern day Kenya. Most ethnic Somalis in Kenya are Kenyan citizens. I don't think you're talking to me because I know that. There's scams in the US too. Yeah, but come on. No, it's not nearly the same. Got to make connections and get good advice from people who already. Okay, I'm all for defending Kenya, but there's a lot of like it's hard for people to work together because there's so much scamming going on. Like the business integrity is quite low to be like let's be honest now. Like like you have to be very careful. On average, in America, you pretty much will get what you're supposed to get when you do something. In Kenya, you roll the dice a couple times, something bad's going to happen. Most of us are not broke at all. We just like a good. Yeah, but it attracts some broke folks. It does. I'll keep preaching that. They're financially illiterate and moved by social media sentiments and frenzies. Yep. Ryan, you should associate yourself with the real investors. Well, I associate with Ryan Fagan. I'm a seasoned woman. Don't gaslight me well enough. Okay. You're probably better off returning to your ancestral homeland. What? What's going on today, guys? Y'all wilding out. What's going on here? I don't care about this fight. No AI bubble. Well, you know, when I think there can be a bubble because there was a .com bubble, right? But that's because people had like companies that didn't do anything but would get investment because they were new technology. Just like everything is AI powered now, even though it's really just Like like the same app they had that works the same way is now AI powered. This is not even actual AI operating it. And that's the same thing that happened during the dot-com bubble, is that there's all these like worthless companies that popped up that got a whole bunch of investment, but the winners in the market are going to go astronomically high. So if you pick the correct winners, or if you just do like a like it, I don't know. There needs to be a good ETF for AI that captures the market properly. The problem is if they're missing certain companies or including ones that shouldn't be included, then it won't do as good as it needs to. But for most people, probably buying the whole market's better than trying to pick the right winners. I got friends in livestock industry in Kenya, and he's doing great. I'm really interested in that. Not, yes, as a business, but more for fun as a business. I would love to connect you to John with DFI Indiani about these. Yeah, send the info. The AI bubble will pop, but AI isn't. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Be nice, guys. Everybody be nice. This is a classy environment, okay? We don't do all this. We could disagree on points, but be nice. All right. All right. I'm all for debate, but when it devolves into nonsense. DFI is retiring folks using bond lettering structure. Yeah, Kenyan bond market is really good. I, you know, I would always keep U.S. equities as well, but I think there's a place to incorporate that, especially if you're moving to Kenya, having some Kenyan investments like that. And there's a lot of good fixed income stuff. So people looking to figure out how they're going to survive long term. This could be part of that strategy. I think it's a really good idea. See, that's kind of true. Oh gosh. Stocks give you better return than real estate on average. Just buy long-term options. See, I don't like options, but on the indexes and let them cook. Why options instead of just buying the index? Yeah, but okay. The thing with stocks though is that stocks and real estate and all assets have been on a bull run, meaning they've been going up since 2010. There has not been a major correction in real estate or the US stock market in a really long time. That's a little spooky. Also, people are broke. Life is very unaffordable right now in America. And I don't think this is sustainable. I think Gen Z is screwed really bad. How can they even own anything? They have to go and rent an apartment with 7 people to afford their housing. And that's a college graduate that did things properly. Is not like if you do everything you're supposed to do as a young person, your future prospects are much worse than prior generations. Mine, but see, millennials, I'm a millennial. I was born in 88. We came of age during the Great Recession, which sucked, and 9/11, which really messed the world up. 9/11 and financial crisis, and then COVID. Those were 3 major, really negative things that happened. Um, Gen X is the most spoiled one. It's not even the boomers, it's the Gen Xers. Bill Clinton economy, the 90s, Man, you could have an associate's degree and make $100 something thousand a year back then. Like people were just making money by accident. Now, if you do all the stuff that your parents and great grandparents did, you will have a worse life today. You will work more and have less, but you'll have better technology and TVs are cheaper. But I think your overall capability of having a good lifestyle is worse. I will say people waste a lot of money on dumb stuff today where the consumerism is worse than it was. But I don't think you can gaslight this generation and say that they're spending money wrong is why things are bad. I think it's because affordability has just been wrecked. At the same time, social media, these people who are wrecked financially use a credit card and go to Mexico instead of paying their bills. That also is happening. But I understand why they're crashing out because I think, again, if you do everything correctly and your future still doesn't look that good, that's a major problem. I agree with the scams. It's wild, but 75% of Americans doing business in Africa would do better with advisors. We all move solo. Yeah, but the advisors be scamming too. Yeah, it's wilding out. I visited many criminal court proceedings in Canada. They don't prosecute. Like they don't prosecute nobody. Don't worry. They you see all these situations where the guy punched the lady and the one lady got stabbed on the bus. These guys been arrested 27 times and they still walk in the street. Options are gambling. There's ways to incorporate options correctly that's not as gambly, but I agree. The stock market is due for a correction sooner, but long-term investing, yeah, long-term is good. But I don't like for me, I've sold property, I'm rotating assets. I have money to reallocate, and I'm a little scared to allocate it all at the same time. Greetings, Ryan. I follow you on Instagram and think you're doing an excellent job. Thank you. I appreciate that. Wait, I was supposed to post it. Guys, follow me on Instagram. If you could see like my normal day-to-day stuff. I don't talk about Kenya on Instagram. That's the funny thing because my Instagram is mostly like people I know. So they don't know anything about my life in Kenya or anything. They're when I come back when I come from when I come back from Kenya and I go somewhere, they'll introduce me. They'll be like, "This is Ryan. He just got back from Africa." I'm like, "Oh gosh." Because then we're gonna have some stupid conversation about what's it like, and I know what image they have in their head, and I'm like, I don't feel like talking. I don't feel like having this conversation. I'm like, I was in Kenya. Where's that? It's in East Africa. Oh, okay. Is that near Ghana? Like, I don't. I'm good, bro. Why are we talking about this? Like, how can I explain Nairobi to somebody that doesn't know anything? Because I know they think naked people in huts. So I don't want to even talk about. I don't want to engage in this conversation. Yep, Gen X could do factory jobs and own a home, car, vacation with family on a single income. I've been in Nairobi for about 9 months now, and there's been a huge influx of Europeans, diaspora Africans coming into Kenya. Yeah, what the big sign is because they're very visible is the French-speaking West Africans. Something's happening when people all over the world are coming to Nairobi. This is why I don't believe the oversupply thing. This is why I think things will keep going up as long as the narrative of like Nairobi is the place to come, invest, build, do stuff. Which goes to this is how I always invest is on macro narratives like that. Options are just leverage, which I'm done with leverage personally. They give you 100 times more buying power. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. See, that's a personal choice. Like just me personally, I'm like, no leverage. I'll be boring and I'll make less. I'm fine. FBA is, oh, no. So I don't want to get into this whole thing. The academic term for FBA is fine. It's the people weaponizing it in a ridiculous, like, why do you have to say people's heads are shaped differently? You know? Because African Americans or Black Americans, we don't have a proper term. Because is Elon Musk an African American? Black Americans do have a unique history as a people. And so having a term for them that makes sense is fine. But for some reason, it's devolved into people using it as like a weapon. It's fine. Like, I think, again, as an academic term, it's fine. And as Black Americans, you see this Hebrew thing, you see all these different things. There's a search for identity that we have because we've lost the identity and it manifests in all these things. I just don't like that it's turned negative, and has become a weapon. I think it's like, it's funny. The people that are moving to Africa renounce the United States a lot of times, but I'm like, you're very American. Like, you think American, you move American, you dress American, you buy things in an American way. You're in a hurry like Americans are in a hurry. You see things like an American sees things, and yet you renounce or hate America and think you're finding uh like your true calling or something in Africa. But I'm sorry, whether you like it or not, you're American. And part of me is drawn to Africa for some sense of like culture, or like trying to get back to like a deeper, like, because having thousands of years of history and culture and reference is very important for people, for grounding, and for your behavior and actions. And I could go all into all the reasons why, but that is important to me. And I do feel like American culture is a little thin, um, with certain things, but also it's very good because we're very productive people, um, and we can see things with efficiency and we can get the job done and we take risks, and there's a lot of good aspects to it, but on some of the deeper, like more meaningful things is a bit lacking, and especially for Black Americans is there's a desire to know your history, or how, or what does it really mean, I guess, like search for meaning. And it's manifested in all these different ways. I just don't like the negativity, because they'll use the word delineation, and I think it's fine to like, it's fine to acknowledge Black Americans as a distinct group, and there's a context around that group. But why does it have to be adversarial to other groups? That's my key issue. 88. Oh my God, Ryan, you're young. If you're a millennial, I guess you're the one before that. Yeah, you're a Gen X if you're 79. What generation was you look older than me. It's the gray. I've gotten so gray over the last couple of years. Options are not gambling. I mean, you can buy stocks and be gambling. You could buy options to be gambling. It depends on your mindset and what you're doing. Gen Z are not looking at trade jobs. That's true. Trades are good. They're not looking at labor jobs. A lot of them are trying to be content creators. That's true. Trades, you can make a lot of money. I wish I don't know if I wish that, but my parents really discouraged me to work with my hands, and I would be killing it if I was a HVAC person, electrician, whatever. They're everything except for themselves. Because we don't know what ourselves is. We don't have long enough history. I know some of them will get mad about that, but I think that acknowledging that is important. European diaspora and actual Europeans. My neighbors are German and they've moved here permanently. What's going on, sir? Happy to see you keeping up the great work. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Did you see Burna Boy? When? That's my guy. Although I don't know. People are not liking Burna as much lately. You guys are, oh my God. Don't start this. Don't, you're doing it. You're doing the thing. This is the thing I'm talking. I don't know what they said to you that sparked that, so maybe they're responding, but oh boy. FBA means Foundational Black American. It's trying to label African American with a better label, which it came from this movement about reparations. And you kind of needed to just have a distinction between like immigrants later versus people who experience or people's families that experience slavery and stuff. Is I'm just explaining it. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. Like foundational to the country. Yeah. Europeans have been here in Kitasuru and Gigiri for decades, largely tied to the UN, NGOs. There's probably been an increase in general, but I was specifically referring to diaspora. Yeah, they're coming back. They're the biggest group of people that I deal with. They're the most clients that we have. They're the most consultations. Surprisingly, they want to talk to me, but I do get why now. Okay, so what is controversial? Well, exactly. It's not controversial. It's the actions of the people weaponizing the terms that has become divisive and controversial. I could tell you are educating yourself in Africa. It's great that you know the nuances of each region. Thank you. I love history. I've been watching documentaries. You know what's hard? You know what really is interesting? Pre-colonial Africa doesn't have a lot of history that I can find. Not that it doesn't exist, but it's a little hard to know. Like, okay, like I want to know more. Okay, so for Kenya specifically, like how did all the different tribes come to be how they are, and how did they interact with each other? I would love to know the customs. I mean, I guess you can know the customs, but usually from customs, there's like deeper reasoning and meaning behind it. I would love to learn all that stuff from all the different tribes. I'm very interested about that kind of thing. Obviously, I'm in Kenya is more interested. I know more of the tribes, so it would give me more context. But that kind of stuff is super interesting. Ethiopia's history is super mega interesting. I love history. Like if I'm on Netflix, I'm probably watching a documentary. I'm so corny. Boring. I'm sorry. There's already a term to delineate. It's called African American. Yeah, but it's okay. So African American, I can't believe I'm talking about this. If I come from Nigeria, now I would be an African American, which isn't necessarily a good distinction from a Black American, we'll call them, or FBA, the same. Those are different things because Black Americans do have are a different identity at this point. Which is funny because when I see Nigerians around, I can't tell if they're Black American or Nigerian until they start speaking because most of us are from that area. And we have similar. Some Nigerians don't like when I say this, but I'm like, I think we're quite similar. So, I don't know. I'm just trying to. I don't like. I don't. This conversation a little touchy because people start going crazy. I'm gonna have to ban people. They start saying crazy stuff, but You see what I mean? Like Elon Musk is an African American, technically. My own Generation Z, we are tired about tribalism. You're forgetting this is Kenya. We have tribalism. I'm not, why am I forgetting? A politician used the word every time, even you get him profited, they don't do anything. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm aware. I can't say I fully understand, but I'm interested in understanding. Yeah, honestly, it is. It's not like the best. Guys, this is another thought that I had is like part of the problem is this is going to sound bad, but not everybody needs to be talking. And you don't need to talk to everybody. Like anybody can just throw opinions and people throwing poop at each other, everybody's just getting poopy. You know, like everything's decentralized, like even like with politics and everything, there's not really leaders like it used to be. And so usually the leader would be a highly educated person that has a lot of considerations. But now just random people are on microphones with a big audience just saying crazy stuff and then it goes viral on TikTok and then the next person responds to that and then it's creating hate and anger and now they're manufacturing these new terms. I guess FBA would be one of them, although I do think it's somewhat appropriate. Um, but then they're like, oh, they're a tether, or they're this, or they're that, and now you're coming up with all these new ways to like insult each other. I don't. It sucks, man. I don't like it. Meanwhile, if you go to Europe, you will be black for a while, and like you're black until they know otherwise. Because they won't know what country you're from or whatever. And so you'll have the experience of a general black until you say something. Like when I was in Germany, I felt more American in Germany than I did in America for a while because I feel like I was treated as an American more than I was treated as a black person. But as soon as I would get back to the States, you go back to this black white dynamic. And I'm light skinned, so that's a whole different. And I don't always look black. People think I'm Arabic, so I'm kind of ambiguous. But in Europe, I feel like, and in Kenya too, I feel like I'm more general American than I am like I think I'm more in that category than anything else. No savings account or buying real estate for 12% guaranteed every month. Yeah, exactly. What? Yeah, but you could do that with a Kenyan bond. You don't have to get into all this weird stuff. You know, I'd rather be in a government bond than into a crypto 12% return. Don't start it. Remember the last time we did that? What? I don't know what we're talking about. FBI is well, just we all need to stop insulting. Like, why don't we look for good things? Oh. Well, yeah, but there's black Americans who don't like the FBA term because it's become toxic because of the actions of people that are using it as a weapon to bash people in the head. Yes, Kenya was. Oh, I mean the area of which is now Kenya. Obviously, I don't. Come on, I know these things. I like that your show is about net compounding interest to our pockets. All this horizontal talk about black identity is uncalled for when we are far behind. Yeah, I agree. Thank you. That's why I was a little scared to get into the conversation, but we found ourselves here somehow. Like Africa, its boundaries are rooted in ethnicity. Well, I don't want to speak to Kenya's problems, but I think Africa's issues are because the Europeans actually made the countries, right? And then people of all these different tribes have to figure out how to work together, which I imagine is very difficult. And the tribe is just a word for ethnicity. It's giving oh, really? Interesting. Yes, I agree with this is a good point. These countries are kind of made up. But but at this point, what do you do? Mind you, Swahili that is spoken by a majority Christian country like Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania are remnants. Yeah. But Swahili, I think, is a benefit because unlike West Africa, all the different groups could communicate. Tarek Nasheed is the MLK of FBA. I sit here quietly to not be poopy. So when Black Americans say that African Americans, some are recent invented, it has some truth since many ethnic. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. You look like, yeah, so if I had better Swahili, maybe I could trick people that I'm from the coast, right? So the history and truths there, adopted many identities. I look black. Sometimes you see comments like, he's an Arab. He's Egyptian. Get him off of here. I'm like, oh, okay. I've dealt with this my whole life, though. It's not new. Yeah. Ryan does not look black in Kenya. Yeah, I get called white. You need an admin. What for this? You can pass for Indian, Arab, Ethiopian. Yeah. I'm mysterious. I'm seeing lots of developments in Nairobi below 5M. You know, I've seen a lot of projects in Kilimani for under 5M, but what they're doing is they're making really small studios, and then the other pricing for the bigger units is normalized. So the one bedroom will be 6-7M in Kilimani. The proper size one, like a 62 square meters. There's a lot of projects, though. It's hard to keep up with these guys. And then talk about housing needs. We're still on our data collection, but I mean, there's a ton of demand for housing. Okay, this is a new thesis that I've been thinking about is, or not thesis, a thought is that the reason why Nairobi is building up, and I talked about this 2 weeks ago, is that the transportation is really bad if you live outside the city. Therefore, if you work in Nairobi and want to avoid 3-hour commutes, you have to live in Nairobi. Therefore, you have to live in a small unit because the land cost is going up, 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 up. Because being in Nairobi is very valuable because that's where all the money is made. That's where people are working. That's where everything's happening. Obviously, you know, there's stuff happening elsewhere, but I mean, that's the epicenter. It's like New York City. I wonder if the transportation to, so this is why you're seeing Syokimau become popular, is because the transportation from Syokimau to Westlands is not too bad because of the expressway. If you have a train, actual train that moves fast, not these slow trains that they be having, that goes along Thika Road, or something that goes into Kiambu County, you know, would the value of those areas would go up, like you're seeing in Syokimau. But actually, you would see maybe Nairobi stop going up as much. And you would start seeing projects come out there. There's one in Kiambu. Oscar from Elite Sanctuaries sent me that they did it on a golf course or something. The problem is they were asking for 10 years of service charge up front as a deposit. I said, that sounds like a scam. But I'll look into the stuff more. But I really think transportation is the number one, not number one. Aside from the international investment thesis, transportation is my next big thesis about Nairobi, is that if the suburbs got better transportation where the commute was shorter in some way, whatever form that is, subway, train, more highway, whatever, that would fundamentally change the dynamic of what's going on in the market. You guys are funny. U.S. aid lost about $5 billion, but U.S. has in August. Yeah. So, uh, what appears to be happening with getting rid of U.S. aid has been that they're reallocating that money as direct, like that healthcare deal that the U.S. was trying to do with Kenya. That I don't know if it's still going on or whatever. Was us giving money directly, and then I guess they were supposed to get some health data back or whatever the deal was. Instead of giving the money to U.S. aid and for it to get wasted, it's going to the government. I actually think it's a very smart concept. So they're trying to track the money better. It's not that they just pulled the money out necessarily. They froze the money. They said, we're not going to do it like this anymore. We're going to make deals. We're going to do better direct investment. I still think a lot of the money gets wasted and all that, but it's a better solution for everybody, I think. Yeah, I look like a Costarian. What projects? I don't see any projects even on the news yesterday in Western Europe. People are getting beaten because it's election. What? Okay. Ryan, you should be in Kisumu. I need to go to Kisumu for sure. I would need to go out west. Um, yeah, but see, this is the thing. Like, you can't do anything outside. Like, Nairobi is where everything's happening, right? Like, how can you leave? What am I going to do out there where there's nothing around? You guys see, we had this conversation. We had like 80 people in here. Now it's down to 40. See, people get animated by these conversations, but they like, I'm not dealing with this identity stuff. My Swahili is not good enough to translate that live. I'll be embarrassed. Well, did we do 2 hours? We started at 1:30. Okay. I think we did good time. I think this was an interesting episode. Let me know how it went. I'd love your guys' feedback. If you got to the end, put like some cool emojis in here. Put some weird emojis that no one uses. If you watched most of the episode after the fact, not in the live, but later. Shout out to Willis Wilson. He was balling today. 2 joules, 10 joules, gold coins. Chew. Tell me how I'm supposed to say this. Chew Fei? 265 Canadian. Willis Wilson again, $4.99, not $5. Uncle alert. Don't make look, look. My soccer season starting. I lost 50 pounds. I'm ready to go. We'll see how old I am because will I feel tired? We'll see. Happy poop. 10 joules. Okay, interesting. Let's see. Good job, Ryan. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Eddie, hey, 5 stars. Trying to make Kenyans look like what? Oh, see, we're still doing that. Look, I don't think people like this conversation from me, you know, but I didn't have a lot to talk about today, so we had to devolve into one of these topics. But I think it's kind of interesting. I guess. Hopefully, everyone has a good rest of your Sunday. I don't have much planned, so we'll see what's going on. You got 13 likes, or what? I don't think we had any bots today. I always forget to promote stuff. There's a whole bunch of things I'm supposed to say and promote. I just, whatever. Always appreciate your insights. Thank you. Even when the conversation take alternative direction. We only get a little bit of that from time to time. I perk when oh yeah, I'm ready. Football. I'm hyped from the World Cup. I lost weight. I haven't been doing my cardio. The season starts September 12th on a Saturday. I'm going to get like 2 games in and then I'm going to be back in Kenya, unfortunately. I missed last season. It sucks, man. That's like one thing I love to play. But I played a pretty serious competitive league, and the average age of some of these teams be like 23. I'm like, stop roaming the field, trying to mark kids. Unlimited energy. What the heck? Ryan, you toured Northland City in Riru? Not Northland City, but Tattoo City, yeah. You should invite Boris. I should invite Boris, but what should we talk about? I want to talk about Boris's life and why um he doesn't do things the very Kenyan way of being shy. That's what I want to know about Boris. Kenyans like to run their business secretly, even though they need marketing. It's funny to me, but that's what I want to know from Boris. Have a part 2 dialogue between you two. It's funny, when I did the podcast, I talked to him for like 2-3 hours after the podcast. I saw an old video of you complaining about Kenyans being rude to waitstaff in restaurants. Did I? Those are Kenyans who grew up poor. I feel like people a little bit get off on the service culture. I've seen ladies do that. I don't like it. I really want to coach a youth football. Do you know Kawa Pride, Kawa West, Kawa Pride? Have you been watching that? You probably could hook up with them. You probably help because they're like a lower division club that an American guy that does a jersey company bought, and they're trying to like do like a welcome to Wrexham thing, which is so freaking awesome. Actually, I had the same kind of idea. I'm just too busy. I can't do it. I wanted to do like a youth academy thing and figure out how to get like scouts to Kenya, because how the heck are there not that many Kenyan pro football players? What the heck is that about? Oh yeah. What do I say about this one? Let me address this next week or offline. I'm not ready to speak about this issue. I'm still working on it. Yeah, Kawa Pride. I want to be transparent, but I also want to be responsible. That's why. I think their FKC is still doing a good job in general. Um, Doing stuff in Kenya is tough, man. Talk about his tours. Boris visited Toronto. He did? that's the thing. They be getting hyped up off of that stuff, and I'm like, it's really not as great as you think. Well, really, I didn't see that. All right, that's interesting. Well, go message Boris and build some energy so I can, when I ask him, he'll say yes. But all right, guys, it's been fun. It's been real. Appreciate everybody. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Hopefully, you got some value out of this. Hopefully, I didn't say anything crazy. Hopefully, we had a good, productive conversation. And you guys have a good rest of your day. See ya.